Okay, folks, so what we're going to do now is we are going to take the cladogram that you just created and you are going to turn it into a dichotomous key that someone else could use to identify your organisms or one of the organisms in your population. Okay, so this kind of takes a little bit of, it's kind of like a puzzle, and you might want to watch this video a couple times to make sure you understand, make sure you get it. But you're going to do this while looking at your cladogram, and it might be helpful to do this in Bill first, so that you can be writing and looking at your cladogram at the same time. But now that you've seen a couple of dichotomous keys, you know that there are always a series of 2 questions that lead you to another category. Okay, so one thing that might be good to start out is to just start out with 1A, 1B, and then 2A, 2B to kind of help you understand or remember that you're going to have always a series of 2 questions just to get started. You don't need to know how far you're going to have to get yet. Okay, so now what you're going to do is you're going to figure out what your first question was. Okay, so if you look here, my main category was candy. And the first question I asked myself was, does it have chocolate or it has no chocolate? Okay, and so that's what we're going to put in our dichotomous key. We're going to say has chocolate or has no chocolate. Okay, now this is going to tell us, this is where it becomes like a little bit of a puzzle, because you're going to have to try to figure out the instructions for where to send people. So sometimes you're going to have to, you're going to have to backtrack a little bit. So let's kind of walk through what we're going to do. So you want to pick a row that you're going to go down. Okay. Let me get some drawing tools up here. Oh no, where are they? Hold on a second, sorry. Goodness, why are they undone? Okay. Okay, so we are gonna go down this row first. Okay, candy. Does it have chocolate? So we're gonna say, we're gonna go on this row first to work with it. Does it have chocolate? Okay, so if the answer to that is yes, then what we're going to do is go with the next set of questions. So we're going to say has chocolate. If the answer is yes, we're going to say go to 2, because that's the next available one, and that's where we're going to put the next question. Okay, so then after does it have chocolate, the next question is it has nuts or it has no nuts. Okay, he has nuts. Hopefully nobody's giggling at that. Has no nuts. Okay, so I'm giggling a little bit. Okay, so that answers that question now. So now we'll just continue going down this way. Okay, so if the answer is yes, it has nuts. That's where we're gonna go with that. We're gonna go on to the next one. So if yes, it has nuts, then we're gonna go to question number 3. So has nuts, go to 3. So now the next question is, it has peanut butter or it has no peanut butter? Or has no peanut butter? Okay, so I'm just going to put some dots here and get this back up. I'm just going to leave this down. So now now we went through peanut butter and no peanut butter. So now if the answer to yes, it has peanut butter, we've identified an organism. It's a Reese's peanut butter cup. So that means after has peanut butter, I can put the name of the species. So that means this is a Reese's. Okay, so now this is done. Okay, and you see how I'm crossing things out? It's helping me keep track of, you know, where I am. And you can do that just like I'm doing in PowerPoint. You can, and you, if you want to not ruin your slide with X's, you can just duplicate your slide and use one to cross off. Okay. So then I'm going to backtrack up here to where my answer was, okay, has nuts, yes, peanut butter or no peanut butter. I'm going to look at this where it says no peanut butter, and I'm going to put the next question here. So that means when I answer there's no peanut butter, I'm going to go with the next available. I'm going to go to question number 4. So that means I'm going to put coconut or no coconut. Has coconut, has no coconut. Okay, so we are down to organisms now. So coconut, if it does have coconut, that means it is an almond joy. So that means I can name it here, almond joy. And if it has no coconut, that means it's a Snickers. Okay, and so now I've named these. So now what you do is you can go backtrack. So you can go back up, okay, where was the question about nuts? So here's the question about nuts. I already did all of the answers to yes, it has nuts. But if it had no nuts, okay, like this one, I didn't go into that yet. So now you can go back there and say, okay, my next available question is 5. So after no nuts, I'm going to say go to 5. Oops. Go to 5. And my question after that was, is it a candy shell or no candy shell? So has candy shell, has no candy shell. Okay, so if it has a candy shell, if the answer to is yes to has a candy shell, then it is an M&M. So I can name that. Okay, and if the answer to was no candy shell, well, I'm still not where I need to be yet. I still got one more question. So that means I'm going to have to say, go to, oops, got to be in here. Go to 6. And then I know I need a 6A and a 6B. And so my next question there be caramel or nougat. Has caramel or has nougat. And then we can name those final ones. The answer to caramel, Twix. If I can read my handwriting. And then if it had nougat, it was a 3 Musketeers. All right, so you're going to continue on like that. This one's not all the way done. I just basically did one tree or one branch. Now you go back through and you do the rest of it by backtracking and go all the way back up here to, okay, if the question was no chocolate, and then you're going to just keep, oops, sorry, you're going to keep adding numbers on until you answer all of your questions. Now, it's real important that you make sure as you go that you're kind of testing your key and make sure that your key is working, meaning that if you say, okay, I'm going to think about a Snickers real quick, try to identify a Snickers. Go through Snickers. Does it have chocolate? Yes. Go to 2. Does it have nuts? Yes. Go to 3. Does it have peanut butter or no peanut butter? No peanut butter. Go to 4. Is it have coconut? No. Is it have no coconut? Yes, Snickers. So I was able to answer the questions and correctly get to the identification, and that's what you want. Okay, so make sure you're testing your key. You can even ask someone else to test your key for you if you want. So have someone sitting next to you kind of look over your shoulder and see if they can, go through and identify one of the organisms. That might be helpful. Okay, so go ahead, guys. Let's get started.